Hey, welcome to our service. Today is a special day, and I'll tell you more about it and why in a couple of minutes. Before we go into that, we want to thank you for connecting with us. And if this is your first time, we certainly hope it's not your last. And we want to thank each and one of you that are part of our church because of your faithfulness throughout all these times and these past months of uncertainty, not only in our country, but in the whole world. So today, we're going to go on into the singing, and we have a special guest, and I'll tell you more about her after the guys.
The grave, and worthy is the Lamb who was slain, and worthy is the King who conquered the grave, and worthy is the Lamb who was slain, and worthy is the King who conquered the grave, and worthy is the Lamb who was slain, and worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. No, my God will never fail. Yes, my God will never fail. So I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. Yes, I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Yes, every war he wages, he will win. No, I'm not backing down from any giants, 'cause I know how this story ends. Yes, I know how this story ends. So I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Oh, you take what the enemy meant for evil, yes, you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. Yes, you turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, yes, you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see, yes, I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle, hallelujah. Yes, I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle, I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see your victory. I'm gonna see your victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord.
Hey guys, here Victor again. Today, like I said, it's a special day. We have a special guest. But before we go into the message with her, I want to let you know and give you this big announcement. On August 29th, we have Serve Day. This is the day that we go out to the community and we make a difference. So if you want to make a difference with us in person, you're welcome to join. Just fill out one of the forms and let us know that you want to be part of this. If you want to go out and serve the community, that we do this during the year. So it's happening this August 29th. You could be part of it by being present and doing it with us, or be part of it by giving us donations so we can go out to the community and make a difference. So today, August 29th, I want to invite you. And my hopes is that you get inspired to become part of this movement and part of what we do, what we love to do more as a church to serve our community. So you're invited to be part of Serve Day on August 29th. Please let us know that you want to be part of it. My wife and I, we're so delighted. We're so excited to bring to you the person that we have invited to continue our series, The Troublemaker. It is said that the person that loves your kids, you like them no matter what. And this person that is actually going to continue with the fifth part of our series, The Troublemaker, is one of the favorite person of our oldest daughter, Aliyah. So she's been a person that I've known personally for more than 10 years. My wife known her for more than that. They went to school together. So this young lady, she's been in our church and not growing since the day I met her. She's been growing and leading and serving people and loving people. Right now, she's the director of education of our church in Brooklyn. So I want to leave you with one of the sweetest and kindest persons that I know with you. And her name is Jahaira Plasencia. I leave you with her with the fifth part of The Troublemaker. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, how are you? My name is Jahaira. I am from Iglesia El Camino. I would like to take the opportunity and thank Pastor Victor and Stephanie and everyone that gave me this opportunity to come and speak to you all today. So I hope that this message, as well as it ministered to me and spoke to my life, it speaks to all of your lives, because, you know, I'm a little bit nervous today. So I hope you enjoy it, okay? I'm going to start with just showing you this simple object. What is this called? What do you think this thing is called, this item? Have you ever used one of these before? When was the last time you took a real good look into this? So you might think it's a little bit simple and silly for me to ask such a simple question, but this is a mirror. I hope you got that right. I mean, my 4-year-olds know that's a mirror, so I hope you all got that right too. It's a mirror, and it's a reflecting surface. It's something that we use to reflect our image. Because have you ever looked at yourself? No, you can't see yourself. What you see is a representation of yourself. You see a reflection of yourself. The only people that see your whole body, everything about you, is another person. So we use this device, this item, to see an image, to see ourselves. And since it's just a reflection, it really isn't the true you. What do I mean about that? Let's take it a little bit back. This image represents you. It's not you. Because if it was you, if I would have put a piece of chocolate on your face, you're gonna know that it's actually on your face. You're not gonna go and touch the piece of chocolate on the mirror, because you know it's on you. So it's a representation of you. It's not the real you. But I know Pastor Victor has been talking about the troublemaker, and I'm going to continue with this series because it's really important to understand how can I connect a mirror to your heart? Like, what's the connection? Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? But let's bring it back and bring it down to Disney. I love Disney. I'm sorry. I work with 4-year-olds, and I love Disney. I watch all these movies. I have to learn them because they always refer to them all the time. But I want to start with the movie Snow White. Spoiler alert, if you've never watched it, I'm sorry. I'm going to talk a little bit about the movie. Sorry. If not, get Disney Plus. I'm not getting paid to say this, but look at it. Take a watch. So in Snow White, there's actually a mirror. And a lot of the story takes place in front of this mirror. Why? Because this mirror, there's an evil woman that keeps asking this mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. If you can continue this, that means you've watched this movie too many times. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of them all? So this evil woman wanted the mirror to tell her that she was the fairest one. But the mirror just spoke the truth. So the mirror kept saying it was Snow White, it was Snow White. And no matter how many times the evil woman kept saying the same thing and asking the same thing, the mirror always told the truth. It never strayed away from the truth. So when was the last time you took a look at the mirror? Another Disney movie that in most of the Disney movies we always see a mirror, but in this Disney movie, Beauty and the Beast, another one of my favorites, there's another mirror, but this mirror, instead of the person being able, the mirror to speak back to them, this mirror showed what that person asked for. For example, there's a part in the movie where the Beast shows Beauty about the mirror, and she sees her father who is struggling in the cold. So she's able to see a reality. The same as in Snow White, there was a reality. There's a truth that this mirror was showing. So how is it that these mirrors are showing us and teaching us that a mirror tells you the truth, but yet we have a struggle making that connection, or not much of a connection, but that we know that it's gonna tell us the truth, so we're kind of scared of that thing. I mean, this is like saying it's a monster to some people. Like if I say, I'm gonna show you a mirror, people get scared because it's gonna show a reality, it's gonna show us truth that they're not ready to accept. So once again, do you like what you see in the mirror? So our troublemaker, AKA our heart, if you haven't heard the series, you really should listen to it. It's the first message, it talks about it defines a troublemaker, which is our heart. So our troublemaker pretty much filters what we see in the mirror. What am I talking about? So when you feel happy, I bet you could stand in front of a mirror and have the biggest smile on your face and you look good all the time because you feel happy, and through your feelings that are generating from that troublemaker, your heart, you are generating and you are filtering what you're seeing in that mirror. So you're gonna look beautiful, you're gonna be able to smile, your body's not as tense, your cheeks are probably blushing, you have a different glow to you because what you're feeling is being reflected, and it's what we're seeing in that mirror. But the same thing is on the contrary. When we have negative feelings, when we have anger, when we're sad, when we're bitter, when we have rancor, when we have low self-esteem, when we have all of these negative feelings, those feelings are also being reflected. I bet you that if you stand in front of a mirror when you're angry, your eyes are probably like this, your shoulders are probably all tensed up, you probably could see most of your teeth, you're probably sweating, your face is red, and I mean, you see it in Disney movies too, and cartoons, when somebody's upset, they're red. You see all of that in your reflection in the mirror. You see your feelings, that whatever you're feeling in your heart is being reflected in that mirror. So, I mean, if we want to look at it a little different, a person that's deaf, they're not going to hear you angry. They're not going to hear you curse somebody out. They're not going to hear you wish that person was dead. They're not going to hear any of that. What they're going to see what they're going to see is you're tense, your eyes, your face, your nose is probably scrunched up, your lips, how it looks, your movement, the way you're moving, you're probably going like this when you're angry. They're gonna see that. Deaf people read your body language. So the same way, when we see ourselves in the mirror, we see what we're feeling. And that's crazy because feelings are something that you can't see. You can't see anger. We're not talking about the movie Inside Out, I believe is the movie with the emotions. We don't see that. We don't see anger standing around. We don't see joy going around. We don't see sadness, no. But what we do see is our reflection. We see our feelings being reflected. And I mean, it's hard to be able to see this because sometimes a mirror, when you look at it, I'm talking about look. I want you to open your eyes. Look at yourself. I'm not talking about glancing. Glancing is on the side of your eye that you just walk by, or you just take a quick look. Oh, let me see if this hair's out of place, and you keep going. Quick, seconds. No, I'm talking about looking at yourself. There's a difference. Because if you don't take the time to look, you're not gonna see all of these things that I'm telling you, but the frustration, you're not gonna see all of that in seconds. No, it's not gonna happen. What you need to do is sit in front of a mirror, and I don't know when, like I keep asking, when was the last time you saw yourself in the mirror? What was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror? When you look at yourself, you can see that. You can see your sadness. I mean, it's like they say, you wear your feelings on your sleeves because it just emanates. You reflect that. I want to give you a little testimony about myself. When I was about 13 years old, my dad passed away, and I went through depression. But a little before that, rewind a little bit, my dad was unfaithful to my mom, and I didn't find that out until close to the time that he was dying. So I found out I had a brother I never knew. I found out he had an affair. I had no idea. All of these things I found out. So what was that building up in me? Anger. It was creating in me hate. I was upset. I was mad. I was rancor. I was bitter. Because you know what? I'm finding all this out, and my dad, he had a stroke. He couldn't talk back to me and defend himself. So all of these feelings were just building up and building up and building up inside of me. So as time was going by, then he passed away, and then I'm like, oh man, now for real, this is really bad, because now I have to go through grief and deal with all the other load of feelings that I was feeling before. And all of this is building up inside of me. So my self-esteem was going down. I couldn't see myself in the mirror. I didn't have a mirror in my room. I had a mirror in my bathroom. I had this huge mirror in my mom's bedroom. But when I would go brush my teeth, I wouldn't look up, pick up my head and look up at the mirror to see myself. No, I didn't want to see myself that way. I didn't want to see that person that I've become. I didn't want to see it. I was ashamed. I was upset. And every time I took even a glance at it, it hurt me even more and made me feel worse. So all of that, I mean, I was avoiding to even see my image. I didn't want to see myself like that. I mean, really, who wants to see themselves in the worst of the worst? Who really wants to see themselves angry? I mean, you must be have some serious issues if you just stand in the mirror and want to look at yourself angry. Come on. I mean, not even a baby. If you put a mirror in front of them while they're crying, most of them stop crying because they're like, whoa, what's going on? You know, you don't want to see yourself that way. You want to see the best of you. So I didn't want to confront that of me. I didn't want to see myself. I didn't want to see that reflection of me, because it's not what I wanted to be. It wasn't something I accepted. But this was years. I'm speeding this in minutes, but this happened for years. I mean, I attempted suicide. I starved myself. And I was going through all of this, and it was just worse and worse and worse. I was letting myself go. It was to the point where I wouldn't get dressed in front of a mirror to see if I looked good in this outfit. No, most of my years in high school, I was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. And my hair was up. I disliked my hair. My long, curly hair, I disliked it. It was always in a bun or in a ponytail. Because I didn't want to take that extra step to make myself look good when I really didn't feel good. I don't know how many of you could relate to that. I mean, now what we're going through with this whole COVID situation and all of the uncertainties and everything that it has affected, have you taken a moment to look at yourself? Have you taken a moment to really see what's going on? There's another example of a veteran. He was a veteran, and he lost his arm at war. And this nurse that took care of him, years later, he went to look for her. But not in a romantic way. But she knew that he was looking for her because he wanted someone to accept him. Because he felt just like I felt. He felt angry, he felt disappointed, he felt sad, he felt alone, he felt bitter, he felt all these feelings. So then what did this woman, this smart nurse did? she was like, you know what? Come to me, come over to this room. So she took him to a room with the full body mirror. And she goes, now look at yourself. She had him take off his clothing so he could see himself completely with the physical, his physique. And she said, look at yourself and say, I am beautiful. This man couldn't say those words. He says, when she told me those things, instead of being able to pronounce those 3 words, I'm beautiful, I am beautiful, yeah, 3 words, instead of being able to say those, he started crying because he couldn't accept that. He didn't believe that, so he couldn't say it. But he's staring at himself. He's looking at himself. He's not glancing at the mirror. He's looking at every part of him. And she's saying, say you are beautiful. And whenever you're lost in depression, you could never hear that, let alone accept a statement like that. You are beautiful, because you feel ugly inside. You're reflecting is not okay. It's ugly. I mean, he could have been the most handsome man, but because of what he was feeling inside his heart, he knew that what he would see wasn't handsome, wasn't beautiful. What he would see was sadness, anger, rancor, bitterness, loneliness. That's what he was gonna see. In the end of the story, moral of the story, he does say he's beautiful, and he comes to terms with that he had no arm and that he could be accepted that way. This other example is of a young girl who went into a mirror maze. Have you ever been into one of those? I've never been. I had to YouTube that because it was kind of, like, I can't picture myself going into a maze. I'd probably get dizzy. But a mirror maze has different mirrors, and you're going through different mirrors. And she says that there was some that were chubby, there was stubby, tall, lanky. All these mirrors were distorting her. But she was looking for a version of herself that she can find, that she could relate to. A version of herself that was the best. She didn't want the short and stubby one, or the long and lengthy one, or the one with the big eyes, or with the bulky. She didn't want that. She wanted the best version of herself. So she's looking for a mirror that will tell her a reality, a reflection of herself, but not of herself. Because then she goes, deep down inside, only she knew the person that existed there. She longed to see a version of herself, but the best version of herself. And this was a 12-year-old girl. So I'm not talking about you're 40, 50 years old and you're dealing with these struggles. No. I'm talking about a 12-year-old girl. I mean, I had a 4-year-old girl in my classroom who didn't like to wear certain clothing because she didn't like who she looked like. She didn't like her, so she was 4 years old. We had small groups. These are little lessons that we do with the children. This little girl couldn't smile at herself in the mirror because she couldn't accept who she would see there. She's 4. This girl was 12. I bet you that if you're 60 and you haven't dealt with this, and you don't know this reality, you will still be struggling with that. I'm telling you, that little mirror is very powerful. I bet that you have mirrors all over your house and you never took the moment to really think about the power behind that mirror. But the power is really in your heart, because what's in your heart is what filters your reflection, is what you'll see. Someone else could say, wow, you look so beautiful. I love those earrings. I love those shoes. I love this. I love that. And you could be like, and not accept it. Everybody else is seeing the beauty in you. But when you, who knows what's inside that heart of yours, sees yourself in that mirror, you're not going to see the reflection you want to see. Let's take it to this man, this wise man. It's known that he's the wisest man. Solomon. He says in Proverbs 27:19, he says, as a face is reflected in water. So we're starting in the water. If you ever been to the beach or to like a lake, or you see in a pond, or even like a big puddle, or even a puddle of water, you look, you see your face, you see a reflection of you. So it says, as the face is reflected in the water, remember, reflection, representation, not the real thing. You're not going to go touch your face in the puddle of water. You're going to touch your real face. So the heart your heart, that troublemaker, the one that gets you into problems, the one that filters what you see, so the heart reflects the real person. What? There's the connection. Your heart is a mirror. Your heart is a mirror because it reflects you. I could end the message right here and be like, I'm done. I made that connection for you already. No, your heart, all of these examples I gave you before, shows that all these people, including myself, which I gave my testimony, we were reflecting our heart. And when we saw ourselves in the mirror, what we were really seeing was our heart. That's it. That's what we were seeing. Because we can't see past it. And that's, I use the word filter because it's so popular. And I know Pastor Victor said in one of his messages. I mean, it's all over social media now. If you want to look without, you don't want to see the pimples, you get the one with the perfect face. If you want to have red hair, you put the one with the red hair. You want glasses, you want to look, all of these things, you play around with filters. But I want you to look at yourself. I want you to take a moment and really look at yourself and see all the different filters that heart is showing you and projecting and reflecting for you. And know that that's not all. Because yeah, we keep talking about the negative things that we have inside of us, but you know what, deep down inside of you, there's still happiness. There still could be peace. There could still be joy. There could still be excitement. There's still something in there. Your heart is the mirror, you know, and it reflects you. But then over here in 1 Corinthians 13:12, it says, now we see things imperfectly. Do you see yourself perfect? I mean, if you say yes, I think you really have to look closely to that mirror or clean your mirror and look at yourself better. Now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections. Puzzling meaning there's just bits and pieces of it. If you've ever done a puzzle, there's just pieces to create the whole image. So it's just like puzzling reflections of you. This reflection of me sad, this reflection of me happy, this reflection of me angry, this reflection of me. So there's pieces of you. But then we will see everything with perfect clarity. When you clean that mirror, when you clean your heart, when you deal with those issues that you have, that bitterness, the anger, your being mad, being sad, all depressed, low self, when you deal with those issues, and I know that in one of the other messages, the key was in one of the messages was forgiveness. The root of many of these situations, all of our feelings is really forgiveness, because we got to forgive ourselves and forgive others. But that's a whole different message. But when you're able to forgive and you're able to accept yourself, then you will see everything with perfect clarity. Everything will be clear. All that I know is partial and incomplete. You don't know yourself completely. You don't see yourself completely. But then I will know everything completely, just as God now knows me completely. That's just one verse, and it's very complex. And I mean, it's like literally like a puzzle. It uses the word puzzle, and it's literally like a puzzle. It really is perfect clarity when you accept Jesus. And I know you probably have heard this, you need to accept Jesus, and you need to accept Jesus, and he will change everything for you. Let me tell you, that girl who went through depression, attempted suicide, and all that she went through in life, and this is just my story. I don't know what your story is, but this is my story. When I accepted him, I entered a process of understanding what the root of my problem was and what I had to do to deal with my anger, to deal with my envy, to deal with my hatred. And all these feelings, I had to deal with them. And because of Jesus, because the Bible says that all things are made new, let me tell you, it's not made new the second you accept him. No. He comes into your life. He brings his companion, which is the Holy Spirit, and then they will help you through that process. To take you little by little, that you probably avoided that mirror, but now you walk by it and you take the side eye, and then takes you to that moment where you fully look at yourself. Just like that veteran, he fully looked at himself. with one less arm, with probably, who knows what he was seeing in that mirror. He saw himself. And when you accept Jesus, you will start to know who you are. You will understand what you're here for, because when you have all these feelings, you know what? Those feelings are so amplified that they start defining you for some reason. They become, oh, Jadi's the angry one, Jahira the angry one. How many people be looking at other people like, oh, that's the conceited one right there. That's the one that thinks she knows it all. That's the one that's always upset. That's the one that's always moping around. Those feelings start defining you, that reflection of you. But when you accept Jesus, it's like you go through that process of learning who you are. And like this verse says, then you will know who you are, because it says, God knows me completely. God knows you completely. So the way he knows you completely, once we accept Jesus in our heart, we start learning who we are completely. And it's just all parts of a puzzle. It's all pieces of who you are. You're not defined by one feeling. Your heart cannot just say you are an angry person. No. There's so many more parts of you. And when we come to terms to know who we are completely, and we start accepting certain things about ourselves and look at ourselves completely in the mirror, then in Matthew 22:37, it says, I'll read from the beginning. It says, Jesus replied, you must love the Lord love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. With all your being, your complete self has to love the Lord. All of you, your complete self. That's why I started with the other verse, because it's talking about being complete. And then it comes to this. When your complete self loves God, then it says a second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. Wait. Does it say just love your neighbor? No. It says love your neighbor as, It says love your neighbor as yourself. So if you can't love yourself, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and see happiness and see good in you and see beauty in you, then you're not going to be able to love your neighbor, because you're not complete. It's like, if I have half a body, I mean, I can't expect the other person to finish the rest of my body. No, you have to be complete. You have to be whole before you're able to impact and love somebody else. That's why it says love yourself. And then it says love your neighbor as yourself. So love yourself, and then you can love your neighbor. And then another thing is, in this verse, that you could see that there's a connection in this, there's a relationship between the two. But it starts with you. It doesn't start with your neighbor. You can't focus so much on, oh, I want you to become the better person. I want you to stop being so angry. I want you seeing all the faults in the other person and never pointing the finger at yourself. Because what's the point of focusing so much on them and not focusing on yourself? You have to love yourself so then you can accept that person. I mean, in marriages, that's how it works, as I could see, right? That person, you have to become the person you are and then be with someone else and love that other person, not change that person, because you can't change another person. All you can do is change yourself. And even changing yourself is difficult, like I explained earlier. Look at yourself in the mirror. In the mirror, you'll see God's truth. After you forgive yourself, after you see yourself completely, you accept God's truth. And I'm going to conclude with this. In John 8:32, it says, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Then, after you're being complete, after being yourself, after accepting who you are, accepting and seeing yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and being satisfied, being happy with what you see, then you will be free. Then you won't be held hostage with anger and all of these things. They'll just be feelings that come and go. Hey, I get angry, I get upset, But can I look at myself in the mirror? Even before coming here, I looked at myself in the mirror. Even coming before you, I looked at myself in the mirror. I had to make sure that I liked the reflection I saw. And the reflection that I saw was God's truth. Is that even though I am Christian, and even though I'm teaching you here today, I'm not better than you. I have my flaws. I have my imperfections. I have my weaknesses. I'm not perfect, but I feel like I am complete because I accepted Jesus in my life, and he helped me look at myself in the mirror, see what was going on in my heart, and that when I really look at myself from that day forward, I can appreciate what I see. And I could be like, wow, I need more mirrors in my house so I could keep looking at myself. I'm not talking about being conceited. Let's get that straight. I'm talking about knowing and accepting who you are and seeing it. You are beautiful. I want you to say that. Say, I am beautiful. Repeat that with me. I am beautiful. Repeat this with me. I am loved. Colossians 3:12 says, you are loved. Colossians 1:22 says, you are chosen. You are chosen. Can you imagine? There's billions of people in this world, but you are special. You are special. You are chosen from that billion of people. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. These declarations tell you a truth, the truth, God's truth about you. So your heart, turn it into a peacemaker. Don't let it be just a troublemaker. Let it be a peacemaker so you can become one, complete, and come to terms and be in peace with who you are, because who you are is who God said you are. And I mean, it's a process. I'm not telling you this is going to happen right now. It took me years, but after years, I am grateful to say that I am beautiful, and I am loved, and I am free, and I can do all things through Christ. I can do all things, and I am chosen. You are loved. You are loved. You are beautiful. I want to leave you this for your homework. Yeah, I'm a teacher, so I use this lingo. As for homework, I want you to take a moment. If you have a moment before bedtime, in the morning, whenever that you're alone, and take a look at yourself. Look at yourself. That's when you will see who you are. And when you take a look at yourself and see everything, I want you to declare, I am beautiful. I am loved. And when you declare that and you keep saying it and saying it, declaring is just saying it and believing it. When you say it and say it, if you do this every single day, you're going to start believing it. And there's going to be a change in you. And I bet you that when somebody comes to your house, they're going to be like, wow, you have a lot of mirrors in your house. You're going to be like, you know what? Is that I learned that I am beautiful. And that reflection that I see in the mirror, it might not be I can't really see who I am, but my reflection of me is God's truth, and I've accepted that. And it's going to change you. It's really going to change you. And I really hope that this message, this teaching could really reach you and help you through whatever you're going through. It's sad to see so many young people, even older people, even children speak the way they speak. But all of that can change if you can just take a moment and look at yourself. See everything. And just take a moment and be like, you know what? I am beautiful. My anger, my depression, my sadness is not all who I am. I still have love. I still have hope. I still have happiness. I still have joy. There's still more to me. So may your reflection every time you look at yourself in the mirror be of yourself. Be of a beautiful self, a loved self. And that is it. You are beautiful. And I want to thank you for stopping by and listening to this message. And I hope that it really does help you in your path and wherever you are. I mean, it's a simple image. It's just a mirror. It's not complex. It's nothing out of the telling you to go buy something. No, it's something that's probably in your home already. Take a moment and look at yourself. And if you want to accept Jesus today in your heart, and so he can help you, complete you, I want you to just take a moment and just repeat after me and say, Jesus, I accept you into my troublemaker of a heart. Make it a peacemaker and complete me. I know I have failed you, but I want to know who I am. In Jesus' name, amen. Just had to say a simple prayer, and I know and I believe that many of you will start seeing the change. Just take a look at the mirror at your home. I love you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for listening to me, and I hope that you can do your homework. I'll be checking up on you. Have a great day, guys.